So welcome to PLO night. Just adjusting my webcam so you can see the code on the wall. We're going to play on 24H bet. What was the sound? Not sure why it came. We have around 200 euros in our inside shared crowdfundings. So we're going to play PLO10, then probably start with that, and if we suffer some major downswing we might change to PLO4, but these PLO10 games are quite juicy, so I'm just going to go there to the waiting list and let's try to find 4 tables as soon as possible. As normal, you can use our PokerMania's chat, which is seen here on the stream, or you can use the Twitch channel chat. I can see it on my other screen, so I can comment if you say something in there. And please be active, comment about the hand situations, gameplay, whatever. You can talk with anything related to poker, or even not related to poker. I don't care, as long as you keep the chat alive. Here on table 2 we have actually quite interesting spot because we hit our pivot card, which means that basically half of the deck gives us equity for the turn and everyone just calls. And I think if I call, this cutoff will slow down on most of the turns, which means that we can see the river for free. And now we pick up the 9 out on a straight draw. And we can draw for free, but we don't hit the hand, so we just fold. No reason to bluff here on the river. And as you can remember, this yellow button here means that he's aggressive one, but when he pots here against 3 people, I'm pretty sure he has some kind of 2-3 type of hand. 2-3-6, ace 2-3. So I'm not calling there. And welcome everyone. I try to open the 4th table as soon as possible. If we can't find any PLO10 tables, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tables open. Topper Harvey can't see. If you can see other Twitch stuff, then you should be able to see. I'm going to give that player green one because he's 44 and 6. It's just black. It should be working fine, at least for Daya it's working, for Impact Point it's working. Don't know why it's not working for you. And as always, if you have any feedback from the stream quality, just feel free to say so. Sometimes we have problems with my internet connection. So if there's going to be some problems, then we can do something about it if you let us know. On table 2, this Apeiron is playing really aggressive, 170. So if we get any playable hands, we should be having quite fun with him. He's 3-betting a lot. I don't have a lot of hands from this PLO10, but I played with him on PLO20 for some time. And here you can see that he has 4-bet king 10 5 deuce, which means that he's quite sick, just gambling. Table 3, rubbish kings, just call, see if we hit the flop. With these passive players, I'm opening a lot of hands that can hit hard enough to start value betting. But this flop isn't one of those. And here, aggressive-ish player pots. Yeah, I have overpair, I have top pair, but if he has any 2-pair, I'm not favorite. And he can have a lot of hands, and he can have sets 2 pairs easily here, so I'm just folding. And now we can hit the 4th table. Yay! If I manage to change it to here. So now we have four tables, and with a 3-bet from Tidy's player, we have pretty premium hand to call against aces. We can see that he has only gone to showdown with 1 4-bet of aces, so we call and we flop a cut shot. So if he bets, we just fold, but he checks. This is really nice. I could have actually called or 3-bet here. Let me look at my hand. If he has pocket aces, then this check is really good for us. Because now he shouldn't be betting, but now if he has pocket aces and now when the straight completes he bets, it's quite bad. Cup 204 is, he's stacking off with quite rubbish hand, and we have top 2 and a cut shot, so this is easy stack off against him. And this time he happens to have just an ace and flush draw, and he makes the flush. So yeah. He was actually 52% favorable. As you can see, he stacks off. We had 2 pairs, but it doesn't really matter. There's something new on the forums, so I can't refresh. I'm playing poker here. Please tell me now, what is going on in here? We had call and 4-bet. Well, 4-way all in, no matter what we have, we can often stack off. We have that 4-way 25% equity or 3-way 30% or something at least often. Here I'm going to value bet the river on table 4. Because he didn't bet the flop, he shouldn't have king jack. And let's hope our straight draw is alive. And it is. Let's see if we can hit it, and we don't. So crappy aces wins the pot. So 2 flips, 2 lost all-ins. And we had only 24% on the flop, but after all we had to pay only $4 into pot of 30 something. So it was an easy stack off. Last time, or the last few times in coaching we have started winning by first flips. Today we lost both of them, so it's refreshing way to start a session. Let's hope that we can hold on in future. On table 2 I c-bet on paired board, and aptenobytes or aptenodytes instaphones. New feature. Well, no one said what the new feature is, so I have to go and check it. Oh, there's a new coaching window on the top. Whee! Nice. Now everyone knows that I'm playing PLO at the moment. And now we wait. And we wait. Table 2, 1 BB to see the flop. The aggressive guy left the table, which is nice, and we flopped up there and cut shot. I'm actually calling this cap 204 makes these 1 BB donks often when something completes with even total airish. You can do this with ace 7 or ace 10 or whatever. I don't think he ever has a flush. He never does that. I've never seen him make that 1 BB bet with actual value hand. And I love the guy. He just stacks off with so wide range. Now we just wait until something happens. In table 1 we have a cut shot, but it's only 3 outs and then some backdoors. Let's hope for a 10 BB. I'm actually going to just fold. Table 3 I'm going to 3-bet with this small rundown. I don't want to play a multi-way pot with this rundown, so I want to make at least few people fold, of course. Now this is what happens in micros. People cold call 3-bets, so isolation doesn't really work that well. Of course, we can always flop the wrap. And let's just make a semi-bluff. On table 2 we have a better rundown, 9 high double suited. Now we actually pick up the flush draw and we should have at least some folding equity versus flush draws. If he has a king, he's never folding, so let's see what he has. And he calls and he has pair of 9s. Oh my god. Pair of 9s and flush draw and he stacks off, but yeah, that's why it's so profitable to play here. We had even 40% on the turn, but oh my god. And he cold calls 3-bet. At least he has good nickname, Monkey Monk. Oh dear. Even if I knew he had pair of 9s and flush draw, I would assume that he folds it, but he just can't fold. So as you can see, when you actually hit your hand, you can just... Like, the way to make money in these days, as you can see, is wait until you hit the hand and you can just pot, and people will fold a ton. I mean call a ton. They call it anything. Like here it's a 3-bet pot and he just shoves. He's not afraid of aces. Or he had aces, who knows. Just doesn't want to 4-bet until he hits the set. But unless you hit the hands, it's really hard to win money at these type of games where there aren't a lot of thinking regulars. Like, as you can see, most of the opponents who is here, Aptenodites is probably the only regularish guy. 40-20, even his VPIP is 40, so it's really high. But he's the only one with at least somewhat decent regular stats. Everyone else is just huge fish in some way. So it is profitable to play. All you have to do is hit your hands. And today we have hit some hands, but we haven't extracted any value yet. Wow, donk and call. Our 2-pair outs are alive. We got 1 to 4 odds. Let's peel the turn. And he bets half a pot. Yeah, I think he has king queen a lot of times there. This slap catch, I played with him yesterday for the first time, and he is just a huge fish. Like, he stacks off even 300 PPD with just garbage hands, and oh my god. And here aggressive guy shoves. The problem is that this Wiki 73 probably has aces. And I've invested only 3.5 PPs, and against aces I don't have the odds here, so I have to put. If his 3-bet range is any wider, then we'll get it in and just flip. But I would assume that he has aces a lot of the time, and oh, he has ace queen. He had aces, wow. You never know. First 3-betting 70 hands and it's ace queen 6-5, which is horrible. Oh my god, this. I have no idea why he 3-bets that kind of garbage, but I'm going to barrel here on table 3. He can have a lot of jack 10 type of hands. Some queen, randomish. Now we below the flop 2 pairs. He shouldn't have set ever, so I'm actually check calling here on the river. If he has a misdraw, he might bet it here on the river as a bluff. And he had a set of 9s which he slow played on the flop and on the turn. Wow. That's one of the problems at micros, because normally you would assume that he never has a set there when he checks flop, just calls the flop and just calls the turn. But now when I have the information, I made a note about it. So now I know that he can make that way. That is, especially on the turn, that's quite, I would say, that horrible to slow play there. I would raise because I have a lot of hands that I will not fold if he raises a little, so. And then the value bet on the river is really thin. Of course, if I had a full house, I would probably bet it, but wow, so confusing. So we are at the moment 20 minutes to coachings and 4 buy-ins down. Interesting to see if we can climb up. If you haven't heard, they actually changed the rate at 24H bet. And when I got the email, I was pretty sure that they had a typo or some misinformation there, because they said that they changed the rate so that the maximum rate is 3 BBs. And I was like, this is insane, it can't be. But it was. So now the maximum rate is 3 BBs, so even if you normally when you get it all in, like in PLO10 you get somewhat deep bottle and you might pay €2 as a rate, but now the maximum rate is 30 cents, which is really nice. I'm going to call once here. We have backdoor flush draw, overpair, and we have 6-5. And he's really aggressive, so I think he's going to slow down on a lot of turns if he gets action. And we have nice implied odds. We have the monkey here. Monkey calls flop turn and folds the river. Oh dear. Here we hit the middle set. Problem is that there's flush possible on the board, but we have to bet the value. People call, nowadays they call a lot with 2 pairs and even straight draws. Even pair aces call sometimes there on the flop. Paistisini is saying on the Twitch chat that isolation 3-bet is the biggest joke in micro PLO. Yeah, at the micros, I would say that in Poker Stars PLO10 you can isolate 3-bet, but here when like 90% of the players are just huge fishes, you cannot ISO 3-bet. So we almost have a straight here. I actually tried to bluff him, because he made 2 small bets. Might be open-ender off with 9. He had a 5-4. Okay. So here goes the river with the worst straight. Yeah, with his bet size, I would assume that he has 2 pairs, or we block with the 5s, any open-ender with 5, so he has 8, 9, 7, 9 type of hands with 1 pair open-ender. And on the river he has just 2 pairs, so he might fold, but when he has a straight he might not fold it. So far it's one of those sessions where nothing just works. Yeah, this is now the cheapest place to play PLO, because you can pretty much see the difference that in a big pot you might pay 20 BBs rate and now you play only 3 BBs. So there's a huge difference. So how it affects our game, there are 2 things. First, it increases our win rate. Because now when you win a big pot, you actually win 70 BBs more. 17 BBs more. so it instantly increases our win rate a lot, but it also affects that we can less rake back. Of course we play less rake, so we can less rake back, and what it affects is that if we have some kind of bonus that we want to grind, now it's pretty hard to get that bonus. So if there's some reload bonuses, you have to think how much can you play, so what is an achievable amount of reload bonus. Here we get 3-bet from this wiki who 3-bet that ace queen 6-5. Of course we're calling. Let's see what happens if we could hit even one hand today, and we do, we hit the flush. So now we have SPR2, so we are stacking off, and if they have a higher flush, then we say that shit happens. And he bets half a pot. We have the flush draw and backdoors, and for this half a pot we need 25% instant equity, and we have 20. Even overs might be good for us. We have backdoors, so we have the equity to peel the turn. Here no one bet the flops, so I'm going to bet when the ace comes. Of course I shouldn't have ace ever, but I don't know if they care. Of course Snapcatch will call here with a lot of hands, but trust me, even pair of eights is a value hand versus him. There were 4 half a pot. Vicky uses half a pot bet sizings. When the board pairs on the turn, half a pot is good bet sizing, but on the flop the bet sizing is really bad. It cannot be balanced. If it's for bluff, it's too small, and if it's for value, it gives all the draws a good price to call. Like when I had a flush draw and some backdoors there, I don't make equity mistake if I call versus his range. But if he bets bigger, then I might make mistake. Then before we hit the straight on the turn, and I'm going to call this half a pot donk. Looks bluffish. But now if someone bets the river, I'm going to fold. And he had a 4 high flush. Yeah, some sites have lowered the micro stakes rate, like PokerStars, but they lowered it just 0.5% or something. Before the stars was the cheapest place, of course it had the worst rakeback seam, but now when the cap is 3 BPs and you can get 30% rakeback through Poker Mania, then it's just, oh, should have paid 5 cents here. Now this is the best place to play. The problem is that I don't want anyone else to come to this site. Fishies don't care about rake, they don't even understand how it works. So the only one who is interested in 3 BB maximum rake are the regulars and good players, and I don't want them to play here. Like now the games are super fishy. It's like back to the past. Let's go back 10 years. This is how PLO was 10 years ago. Now everyone just comes here. Uptenodites, preflop stats seem to be regularis, but when he limps from middle position, now I know that he is not a good regular. And that is a fact. No good regular limps here with any hand. Yeah, those, like when you join 24HBet and you get the first deposit bonus, or at later stage you get these reload bonuses all the time, it actually means that those bonuses are always around 20% rate back. So if you have a bonus that you are playing, then you can get 50% rate back, which is really nice. And let's see what this guy has. When he calls the turn, I'm kind of worried that he might have a deuce, and he does. And we had only 25% against him, but on table 2 we actually win a pot. We win 2.75, 2.5 euros when we hit the top set. Whee! Now we hit the middle set. I hope he doesn't donk for 1 BB. Yeah, nice. Because when he donks for 1 BB, he always folds to my raise. So it's kind of sucks. And now turn is pretty baddish, but he's such a fishy guy that we block with the 3. So I'm going to stack off. If he has 3-5, maybe 5-8, but now I think against him we have to stack off. And he has only 2 pairs. That's why we have to stack off. And we win actually with a pair of 5s here. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Here it's a 3-bet pot and we hit top pair. 100 pips deep, I'm stacking off here. We have 3 overcards. No straight possibilities, so unless someone has a set, we have decent equity. And we should have some folding equity versus him if he has aces. And we didn't. And just pair aces. I think we have around 40% equity here on the flop. But yeah, I think he... Wow. 35 on the flop. He was blocking our backdoors. I'm not sure if he needs to stack off against 2 people. Like he bets, there's 1 call and then there's shove over those 2, so kind of fish. Here I'm going to 3-bet this guy, and then with top pair we're stacking off. And that kind of sucks. I'm going to check call. I'll let him bluff. He's so aggressive that he will. We don't even have 2 pairs. If I had king 7, I would check call here. Now we have pretty much against his range, which is 2 pairs flushes. That's it. I'm going to actually fold. For Virpa, don't be sorry for fooling the chat. That's why we have the chat, so that someone thoughts there. As I said in earlier, use the chat as much as you can. I like when there's discussion. Is there any action on PLO10, PLO200? Let's see. As I'm going to open the windows here, filters minimum is, what was it? Was it action for PLO50 and up? So we changed the filters that the minimum is PLO50 and the maximum is 200. And now I can tell you that, oh boy, there is a lot of action. This is amazing. PLO50, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 tables of PLO50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tables of PLO100 and 3 or 4 tables of PLO200. So there is a lot of action at higher stakes, which is kind of strange because there's more action in PLO50 than there is on PLO4. I don't know what was the traffic before this change of rate, but at least at the moment, if you are willing to make some stakes, here he closed. I'm going to barrel the turn because he has a lot of draws on this board, and now he's type of made a 35-0 that he might actually fold a lot of his draws. Now one of the draws complete, so I'm not going to bet here. It doesn't work as value, it doesn't work as bluff, so let's see what he has. And he had the queen jack, even queen jack 10 with flush draw. No reason to raise. You can always just call, and on the turn he was 50-50 versus me, so it's always nice that he calls the pairing turn with the draw. It means that I'm actually going to make a note out of that, so I know that bet between. So now I know that he calls with draw, so whenever I have a set and board is drawy, when the turn pairs, normally I would bet half a potish to be balanced, but now when he calls with draws on paired boards, now I know that I can bet bigger and I shouldn't bluff that often. Paistini says that interesting re-raise with 7-6, but now I have no idea what hand you are talking about. Remember that we have 2 minute delay, so every time when you are commenting about something that happens on the tables, please say what was the table and what was my hand or situation, so I can remember it, or if I don't remember I can find it on replayer. Level 4, we hit open-ender backdoors, so I'm going to check back the flop. Pick some more outs on the turn, but flush completes. When they both check, I'm going to semi-bluff here. But when someone calls, they probably have a strongish hand, and he has the flush, and so I'll place it. Now at Tenodites, donks against 2 people. It can be wide his range, his donk bet is 29. But now he barrels the turn with kind of bet sizing that looks really value-ish to me. So I suppose he has a 6 or full house there. There were one eye in behind with these sort of crappish hands. And now we just wait, see the flops, wait until you hit something and start to bet. Let's turn the hand into a bluff, because we blocked the queen jack. And he can't raise as a bluff, so he needs to have a hand to continue here. And if he just calls, we have a lot of equity. And often when he calls, we might even have the best hand. And he folds, which is nice. Probably one thing that I could do at some point is to calculate exactly how much more you win at 24H bet at the moment compared to stars if your premium was the same. Of course, now what's interesting is that the average player on 24H bet is a lot worse than average player on PokerStars. So even if you are a good player, you could win more in 24H bet because the level of opponents is so bad that you can a lot more value. But if we assume that your EV win rate is the same on both. Why is this on table 2? Well, now it happened like 10 minutes ago. I have no idea what was the case. And here we have this Angelus, huge fish. Of course he's winning money, but yeah, he's one of the he has regular stats, but the problem is that he calls, often plays big pots with really crappy hands. So he overplays his weakish hands by a mile. When he is so short and he pots, I don't think he's going to fold often. We have open-ender, 2 backdoor flush draws and a pair. Let's call and see what happens. And half a pot, probably not a straight, so I just shove against aces. And he has a 10-9, so he had a straight. Wow. And on the flop he had cut shot and a pair, and he pots. Oh, he had 2 pairs, that's why he pots. Yeah. So, thought about he had a stronger hand. There we could have even raised the flop. Of course, it doesn't achieve, he's never folding that hand. On table 1 we hit the middle set. They both call. Shouldn't have straight, but as I say that, as we have seen, shouldn't is not a word we can use on 24H bet. They can have even 5-8 with clubs, 5-8-7-7 with hearts would make sense. And I'm going to value bet the river. The range is so wide and people bluff catch with 2 pairs all the time. If he raises, it would be sick. It would be beyond sick. I'm value betting my small straight here versus Monkey Monk. And he raises. Close the turn, raises river. River aggression 64, 6 out of 8. We block some of the straight. 6-8 is the hand that beats us. We have second nuts, can ever fold there. And he had a 6-8. But I don't think I can fold second nuts when I block the nuts with 1 card and his river aggression was 6 out of 8. And win at showdown was only 27. To fold second nuts on river, we need some real liquid information to be able to do that. But this time he actually had it, so makes sense with our session today. What is actually really positive is that we have had a lot of action for our good hands. Of course, we haven't won any of those, but at least we had some action. Because I remember at PokerStars in some coaching sessions, when we flopped something good, we just couldn't get any value. People just folded. And that's often what happens in Zoom. It's so hard to get value. And here, Cap donks. We have top 2. Against him, it's a stack off. And definitely raise. He makes these small donks with a lot of hands. And now we have SPR slightly above 1, so I'm just putting here on the turn. Nice hand on table 2. No action. Wow, first time. Table 1 we open aces and the flop is horrible. So we don't invest money anymore at this point. Table 3 we flop overpair and cut shot. We have 2 fishies against us, so I even value back. Oh, he don't for 70 cents. I'm actually going to insta fold this. And Monkey calls. Of course he calls. But when he donks, it's quite probable that he has an 8 in his hand. And now, oh my God. Oh, he didn't. He had just an open ender and Monkey Mark had quads. I'm out of words. I don't know what to say. Yeah, I thought he was a fish. Here on table 2, we have everything that is possible on the board. We have 5 and deuce. The thing is that when he calls, he often has an overpair. So if I check, he's just going to check behind. So I don't see a lot of point in just checking and hoping he bluffs, because he shouldn't have a bluffs in his range. And he had 3-4. He oh my God. I mean, look at this hand history. He called my river bet with pocket 4s. I mean, doesn't he realize that any pocket 6, any 7 beats him? He doesn't have a straight. I mean, oh my God. And he's 37-5. Oh dear, I'm going to give him green. Now we know that he calls with pretty wide range. He's the one who 3-bet ace queen 6-5. I mean, oh my God. You often, when you use the HUD, you would think that he always plays with these kind of stats. 135 hands, opened only 7 of those, and 3-bet only 2 of those. So you would assume that when he 3-bets, it's a damn strong hand. But this is what happens with these recreational players who doesn't know their ranges even themselves. He 3-bets when he thinks it's going to hit. But 135 hands, he has had better hands than ace queen c5. But at that point, he wanted to 3-bet ace queen c5. He had a sudden idea that, wow, 3-bet is now the way to go. Or you would assume that when he's such a tight player, he doesn't play trashy hands balls from there, he's going to 3 streets with pocket fours. Because now the problem with him is that even big portion of my bluffing range beats him. I'm actually going to open here in position ace jack 4-5 hand is often crappy ones, but we have gap 204, real fish. Now here I'm going to check because now, actually I am not. I talked myself into betting because they will call me with queen jack, they will call me with straight draws, they might call me with some pocket kings, who knows. And I don't know what happened here. Oh, it was check. Here we have aces versus jab. I'm going to value bet. If he raises, I give him credit. He doesn't raise often with total air. So I think the bottom of his raising range here is pair plus 3 cards, which gives him 40% equity. And that's the best case scenario. So I give him credit when he raises, but his calling range is so damn wide. Rocker is a fish. Sorry, good customer. I mean, this one is good customer. Now I just wish we hit something. I'm going to open 5th table because it seems that one of these is going to die. So I put it here on the outside. I'm going to bet here as a bluff. Whoa. Now my internet is dying. I don't know why there was some problems with my internet connection. Now the problems start. Let's hope it goes away. No. There has been some drop frames so far, so I hope it gets better. It was just a small hiccup, and now we play heads up against Slapcatch, who is huge whale. And now he left, so we have to close the table. He didn't want to play with us, which is sad. often when we are doing the coachings, I don't know why, but a lot of times during this 1 hour mark, when I have played almost 1 hour, the problems start. It's a strange thing, don't know why. But now it seems to be fine for a moment. And now we continue our winning process to hit something. Now we have a rush of bad hands. And we pick up flush draw and open ender. I'm just going to crawl here. I'm going to bet. We have the wrap. Oh, ace comes on the turn. And 4x crawls, which means that he can easily have higher flush draw. So I'm going to fold this pot bet on the turn. Top set on bet before. Let's hope someone does something stupid. Probably doesn't do. Table 3, we have the second nuts. No action. And we still have the nuts. I'm just going to put it in keys. Let's get the maximum. And river sucks. I'm going to bet fold the river. And he had a pocket kings. Yeah, how easy is poker? Well, he had a flush draw on the turn, so it wasn't a horrible mistake to call, but oh, there's another drop frames, and it's Arni Metsä who messed up. So king is going to turn with overpair and hits the 2-outer set. Yeah, he had a flush draw, so he could have hit the flush, but that's happened to me a lot of in past 2 days or 3 days, that I bet the pot on the turn, people call with 2 outs and hit the river. But it happens when they fold the river, that 95% of the time you don't pay attention. But when they hit the nuts, like here we bet turn and river, get value. When the board pairs, he probably has the flush. Yeah, he had a jack high flush. Here Artsiputsi don't spot. I don't think he has jack 10 ever, because the board is rainbow, but he has a lot of 2 pairs and semi-bluff, and even his semi-bluffs has a lot of equity versus my bare aces, so have to fold there. We have I don't know what's the word for this when we have open ender and a cut shot. It's not double cut shot. It's double cut shot is also known as double belly buster. So is this a triple belly buster? I don't know. Triple cut shot. But someone bots. Can't recall. Aptenodites 3-bet here. He has 3-bet a lot of crappish hands, but we don't have hand enough to call. And now they stack off. He has King Queen 7-9 and he has Ace Jack 8-4. Wow. And now Archibald is probably shoving any hand. We almost hit something, but we don't. But yeah, he might be a bit tilting. Shoving every hand, now it would be a nice time to actually get some value hands. Yesterday when I was playing in PLO10, the table almost broke and I was left playing heads up with an aggressive guy, and on the last big hand he actually lost quite big pot. So on the first heads up hand, oh, we had a set, should have bet. Oh man, damn, didn't see I had a set. Fuck. Yeah. Awesome straight draw. The official term. Yeah, I was playing heads up with aggressive fish who lost the last pot. So first 3 hands in heads up, he 3-bet and shoved the flop with pretty much air. And for 3 times in a row I hit something. So it was quite nice. 300 BBs in 3 hands. And then he left. Had enough. He calls the flop, he calls the turn. Now bets the river. I would give him credit for the backdoor flush. He shouldn't bet any kind of sets, or he shouldn't have straights. And now we continue waiting. Haven't had a lot of great hands. I remember, was it the last Friday's coaching or the one before that, when we had really awesome hands throughout the session. So there was a lot of action. Now we don't have, or haven't had a lot of great hands. So it has been a bit boring. I'm going to pot here to win the button. It's ace high, Aptenodites folds, average of 57% to c-bets, so we can definitely c-bet here. And when he don't, I'm just going to raise. and he folds. I don't know, as you have seen, there are few players that use that min donk. Like Aptenodide's donks 33%, 11 out of 33. Now it's 12 out of 34. So he donk bets a lot, and when he makes that 1 BP donk and folds like 90% of the time, it's so profitable to just raise him. If they never do that donk with the actual great hand. See, King, well, too rapid to open. Yeah, in PLO you can have 4 pairs and still have just a bad bluff catcher. And we hit a bottom wrap and flush draw. Oh, he folded and left. And just 3 bets, not a great hand, but we can draw the 3 bet, draw for 2 pairs, even better. We have position and he stacks off quite nicely. And half a pot C, but I'm going to semi-buff. It's pretty thin, because if he has an ace, he's never folding. But we have the cut shot and flush draw, so even if he has pocket aces, it's not the end of the world. It's almost end of the world, but we should have folding equity. And now he stacks off, he has a queen high flush draw, and he makes the straight. Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, 3 bets that hand and then hits the board. And yeah, whatever. He was actually 54% favorite on the flop, so against our actual hand it was a good stack off. But if we dominate his flush draw, then he is just drawing for almost nothing. Here on table 4 we have the nuts on the flop. I think we are in position. Calling is nice option, give him opportunity to bluff the turn. And when he checks, we bet, and he probably folds, but table 2 I call the turn when he bets half a pot, and I'm going to call the river, and he had nothing. So we get some money back. I'm going to see bet half a pot on depot 3. Gap is really fishy. But the thing is that he folds over 50%. But now when he raises, I don't know. We have nothing, so we have to fold one. Triple brain buster. That sounds nice. Next week we don't have a coaching on Friday. It's Halloween. We have the coaching on Saturday. Early evening, was it around 7 Finnish time if I remember right. Remember that we have the daylight saving on this weekend, so next Friday the time might be different for your time if some international members want to join the Finnish PLO coaching. Table 1 we have nice double paired hand, or let's say it's nice as long as you hit the flop. And here Angela's 3 bets can't fold versus him. And not going the bluff raise versus him. But he bet so small. Furku. Let's call. Let's see an ace on the flop and let's fold. Seems to be a pretty active guy. Of course, might be that he has hit the 2 hands, or then he's just a maniac. And he is from Finland, so probably a maniac. We have around 15 to 20 minutes left in the coaching, and at the moment I would say that in terms of making profit it's looking pretty bad. So unless we get a really good hitter on the last 15 minutes, this night will end up in losses. I have no idea what hand this 4x calls, pot on the flop, pot on the turn, and then folds on the river. Just can't imagine a hand. Strange. Too bad we didn't play the ace 9 because Monkey won't raise the flop, so he has an ace in his hand. We could have stacked him off with the nuts. And number one, I call his 3-bet because the hand itself is not that great, but if we hit something, we have definitely implied odds for his stack. But we don't hit, so we just have to fold. Jack then 8-6. Decent-ish. There's double gap, but it's on the bottom. And on these tables, I would say that you can call with, you can play slightly wider range than in title tables because not many people are aggressive, people are passive calling stations, so once you hit, you can just make a lot of money. But when you don't hit, you just have to fold it on. Decent hand on table 2. Let's see what happens. Table 1, I'm going to check raise. We have flush draw and open ender. So we have quite many not outs. Even on the set, we are in decent shape. And we have folding equity. And he folds, which is decent for us. Table 2, I'm going to make smallish semi-bluff. And here, Keys is 3-betting us. We are in position. And now Abdinodai jumps, so he has to jab. I don't think anyone is going to bluff me there when the pot is 4-way. I'm going to call here just to hit the set of kings like a total fish, because I think we can stack off versus him. I'm going to call once and hope that the straight doesn't come there. And he has aces with the flush draw, and we actually win the pot, which is nice. But when the queen comes, he might slow down, and we don't get value. If he has a real good hand, we have implied odds. And to call a pot size bet here, we need to get 250 as implied odds on the river. Does he call a pot? I actually don't know. I don't think he is. Here we hit all in versus King Queen Jack 5, and we don't win the board. Oh, we made a set on the river, so we managed to win. Table 2, we have Queen High flush draw. I'm just going to value bet versus smaller flushes. If he raises, I fold. At some point you might see that the quality goes a bit down. It's because my computer is working on full power here. So even my mouse is a bit late. I don't know why. I shouldn't have a lot of going to stop some of the programs. Hope it gives me. Here I bet turn should have a lot of fun in equity, but when he raises, he probably has 2 pair on the flop, and we just fold. And here we 3-bet, and Kelly is, I don't know, he might be guilty because now he's 3-betting every hand. Now he's 4-betting, so I call, and on ace high board I'm stacking off because he has been so aggressive in the past 4 hands. And if he has pocket aces, then it goes to, oh he has ace 10, so it kind of sucks. And he makes the full house. So he didn't have aces, but he had 2 pairs. Larry Shine is asking that if we 4-bet double suited rundown out of position against calling station. Now the first question is, why would we 4-bet rundown versus calling station? So that's where you go wrong. And can we bet fold totemist board? Of course you can. I don't really get the question. If you have, like, if you totemist the board and you see bet and he shoves, then you just give him a range. And if you have totemist the board, then whatever your range, his range is, you don't have the ability to call. Sometimes you might have enough backdoors to call, but why would you 4-bet rundown versus calling station? Just don't get it. And if calling station raises, then he has a strong hand. So air versus strong hand, if you don't get enough equity to make the call, then you have to fold. Let's try a small raise here. Board is so dry. We have some backdoors. We have some outs. I don't know what kind of guy this is. But his lines are so weird and he is so aggressive. I'm actually going to give him the yellow one. He has been making really aggressive moves. It might be that out of the 15 hands he has just hit some of those, but if I don't get any more information, like that line is so, it doesn't make sense with any hand. So I don't want to bluff him anymore. The thing is that when you totally miss the board, or whatever your hand is, it doesn't matter if you have a pocket aces or totally miss the board or 1 pair or something. If you're wondering, can you stack off or not, it's always about giving your opponent a range, then see your equity versus that range, and see if you have the odds to call or not. It's so simple. It's impossible to say when you can and when you don't. The only thing is that when you have pocket aces versus 1 opponent and the SPR is 1, you can stack off after your 3 or 4 bet on any flop, because in the long run he cannot make money out of you. It's unexploitable. Of course it might not be the best line always, but it's unexploitable. And we keep on folding. Rundown dominates his 3-bet calling range. I have no idea, but rundown doesn't really dominate anyone's range. It's not a favorite against any range. The only hand that you can dominate is smaller rundowns, but when calling station 3-bets, his hands are Broadway pairs, Broadway cards. So even big deposited rundown, it doesn't dominate his 3-betting hand, because he has a lot of aces and kings in his 3-bet hand. Here we flop the nuts, and we get the money in with the nuts, and we have the redraw to the even higher nuts, and he's drawing almost dead, but he almost makes the full house. I was already prepared to say that he makes the full house, but there's something wrong with the random number generator. He didn't make the full house on the river. We win a pot! Woo! I need those fireworks now. I miss them. The fireworks that used to be on the old party poker software. When you win a pot, there's fireworks everywhere. 200 BPD, I'm set mine in here versus Aptenodites. And he is going to bet half a pot on the turn. I know it. And this time I'm going to call. Oh, he bets even smaller. Well, let's see if we hit the queen, jack, or club. We hit a 9. Strange bet. Can he fold aces? I'm just going to call. So I thought about raising, but he had a straight and he... Oh man, I was so favorite on the flop. We all have flush draw. I had a 9, so I wasn't favorite. 64% favorite on the flop anyway, but they both made a runner straight. But what the crap did he 3-bet? Why would... Look at this. Sorry for using bad language, but look at this donkey here. He 3-bets 10, 8, 6, 3. Yeah, it's double suited, but it's just complete nonsense. And he 3-bets it against 2 people. So he wants to create a multi-way pot with 10, 8, 6, 3. Oh dear, I'm going to mark him as good customer anyway, but I'm just amazed. You don't see these at PokerStars. Now when everyone sees these videos, they are probably rushing to 24-8bet. Huge difference in rate, and then you have Aptenodites. He's a regular, and that's the level of regulars. I'm going to just call here, give him a room to bluff, and hope turn isn't the spade or jack 10. And when he bets small, it's nice. I can raise, maybe make him call. If we weak his hands, and I'm going to bet the river for value. We block the straight with 4, so even if he raises, I'm going to call him always. One option is to bet really small and hope to induce a bluff from him. 4 euros was too much because he has 9 behind, so made a mistake there. Not sure if he's going to call with crappy hands, but he might raise his misdraws. Larison is asking how much the rate is. Well, the session I played yesterday was the first one with the new rate. And the funny thing is that I actually paid the same amount as normally, 20 BPs per 100 hands. But it was a success, and there was a lot of big all-ins. So I won a lot and I lost a lot. So I paid a lot of rate. But we can see after this session, when we're going to end in just a few minutes, we can see what was the ending. I'm going to bet here with my top pair value on the turn anyway. And river completes only the backdoor straight, and we have the set. And not sure if we can raise, because he's so passive. I'm just going to call, and he had a straight. Oh my fucking god, sorry. Like, how can you not make money here? He calls the flop is queen 3-9 rainbow, and he calls my flop c-bet with 3. Any pair is good. That's why he has the green mark. Oh dear. Here we make the set. We are nicely 150 BPs deep. We have a set and flush draw, so well, definitely I'm going to call here, probably not raise. And now we make the quads. I would be, oh, he pots. It's nice. Let's wait for a while so we can get the last €5 from him. And oh dear. Oh, this would be a great movie. Playing 24 Age poker. Jeez. I mean, Jesus Christ. He calls my flop c-bet with Jack 9-9 on Ace 10-5 board. We don't have a word for that in PLO because no one does that. I would say that's awesome. And now we get the money in against Vortex. If this guy 4-bets, it would be interesting, because I would assume that his 4-bet range is just aces, which means that we actually might want to fold our aces. Not sure. Would be interesting mathematical problem. So we can 3-way all in, aces, and rundown wins. Yep. That's how easy poker is. And he had the best equity. That's the sick part. I think he has 40% equity or something. Might be even more. Why can't we see the... Oh, there's this previous hand. Hasn't updated. Now, here it comes. He had 46 pre-flop. So he's a huge favorite. I'm going to call once because it's a min raise. And now we have the hand locked down. And he puts it's like it looks like a king, but it's so rare. He raises some of the time and he's really aggressive, so he can definitely make aggressive moves. And now when he shows king, it looks so weird, but I I just cannot fold, and he had a 4 of kind. But that mean raise on the flop, if he stole a coin station, then that is pretty much the nuts always. But he has raised more than average regular, and his river aggression is 73. Of course, he has every time had the hand today, but still 19 out of 26 river aggression. That's huge. But he has had the hand every time against us. So that sucks. So that's how easy PLO is. Hit every river, pot it, and people see that you pot every river, they think you cannot hit everything, but when you can, you just print money. He has won over 40 euros today, and total is $7. He's all in equity adjusted winnings. So running hot. Let's see if we can at least pick up one decent hand before we end the session. We are 200 or 300 pp deep here on table 2 with these fish regulars. So the situation is really nice for us. As long as we can hit nuttish ones. Ba-da-da-dum. Same players on every table. Angelus, Aptenodites. It's like swimming with the fishes. Yeah, PLO is easy. Play every hand, hit every hand. Now we hit the top set. Let's see if we can get some value. We don't. Aptenodites, he's either limping or min raising pre-flop. Oh dear. And I'm going to raise here a semi-bluff. Just be aggressive. Show him that we are aggressive players, so once we hit the nuts in a big pot, he might go down with slightly wider range. And now he bets €2. If our flush draw is alive, we need to win a pot of $10, and after the call it's $7.75. So we need to get $2 as value, and I assume we can. And against some random 2 pairs, we have more equity. I think he has ace-5 quite often here. Of course, he might be bluffing with draws, that is one thing, but he actually re-raised us on the flop, which means that he shouldn't, because he might have a flush draw of some kind, but not sure. When he was bluffing, he was using half a pot bet sizing. Oh, we make runner on a full house. That's nice. I'm going to pot it, because he's Salmon or Shadow. He's a huge whale. And we are playing heads up on table 1. Now, when there's a 3 BB rate cap, I think it was 2 BB heads up, or was it even less? Now you can play heads up in PLO10, because normally in PLO10 the rate is just crushing in heads up, and now when the rate cap is so small, now you can play heads up even in PLO10 or PLO4, which is awesome. Actually, I haven't seen if there's any action on heads up tables. There is few players waiting on PLO20. Yeah, that's the smallest heads up table there is. And I don't know, but Aptenodites is just folding every hand here. Well, let's keep on betting until he decides to raise. Here I bet the turn for value against random 8s, against some overpairs, who knows, but on the river there's not much value to be made. And he has just pocket kings, and he calls my turn bet. I understand the flop bet, but on the turn when the flush completes, he needs to fold that hand. Oh dear, but it's good for us. Aptenodites has folded 6 hands in a row or something, and now on the button he folds, so what he's trying to do is he's waiting for aces and he can 3-bet. Or some really strong hand. Now he can, if we have a premium hand, we call and we flop the straight. Let's see what happens. If he raises, it would be sick. Oh, he check folds. Yeah, to me it seems that this is just printing money. There's no way he can outplay us. So the only way he can win money from us is that he gets a setup like nuts versus second nuts. Or he hits strong hand and we have a really big draw, but we miss it by the river. But he's not going to outplay us. So the only way for him to win money now is to make hand versus hand. Straight flush cut shot. Oh, we miss it. We have the second nut flush, so I think we can bet for value. He might make a call. And often in poker, if you find an exploitable tendency from your opponent, like here he's folding a thorn, then exploit that tendency as long as the opponent does something to prevent it. Like, as long as he keeps folding, I'm just betting. Like, just hand me the monies. Oh, we have the nuts on table 2. Do we get action? We do. We have nuts on table 2. Do we get steal action? We do, and we see the worst river card there is, but I'm trying to get value from, and he had a queen then. It's a big portion of his range, but when he has only 2 or 3 euros behind him, I'm not sure if I can check fold the river. And I don't think he has a lot of bluffs in his range anymore on the river. So I'm going to bet if he has a smaller set or 2 pairs, he's going to call. Ace King might make a hero call. Now let's hope he 3-bets. He has waited so long, but he doesn't. Wow. Well, with second nut flush, why not bet third? Again, what table, what situation? So I have no idea where I checked second nuts on the turn. Wow, Aptenodynes folds like 60% of his buttons. That is sick. Doesn't he realize that he's bleeding money all the time? Like, even if I fold every time when he raises preflop, I'm just printing money out of him. When he calls, I'm not barreling. But now I am raising. He shouldn't have a lot of high pocket pairs when he calls ace high board. And he folds. So I'm going to 3-bet. If he is tired of folding, he might actually shove pocket kings. And I'm actually going to check. And I'm going to see his bet sizing, if it's a bluff or not, and that is so bluffy. And now we tick on the variance and shove. If he has a straight, then we have to pay for the 25% equity. And he has Queen 795. Oh dear. Earlier he used half a pot bet sizing. Oh, misworked, so that he had a jack. So this is the exact way he can actually make money out of us. And previously he used half a pot every time when he bluffed. He did that same bet sizing with bluffs, so I thought he might have some open-enders. That's why I shoved there. And what is going on here? I mislooked my hand, I opened, then we had 3-bet. Have to call, and now we get 4-bet certain aces, have to call, and we don't hit the flop. Oh, only 4 euros. Okay, let's stack off with the cut shot. Oh, we make it, and he makes a runner on a straight. 92% on the turn. Oh my god. Probably this has been the worst coaching session I've had in ages. because nothing works, and when we finally have a piece to win something, it doesn't work in the end. The only good moment was the quad tens versus the 2-outer he hit on the turn. But I think we continue the coaching for a moment because I really want to see how this heads up ends here. His fold button is going to be broken soon. I don't know, well, of course, I was about to ask, I don't know why he wants to play heads up with me as he's folding, but of course, he's up one buy-in. Why wouldn't he play? Three overcards and cut shot. Definitely bet. He folds. It's like Bon Voyage. Finnish deja vu. Here at table 4, I'm going to raise versus him. And as you can see, every time he makes these really small donk bets or really small bets, he's folding to a raise. He hasn't a single time made that bet and call when he's raised. No, we can see a free flop. Now he starts to limp from the button. Maybe he is adjusting. The thing is that previously he has 3-bet a ton of garbage hands. I'm going to call once. Oh. If I didn't have the cut shot, I probably wouldn't have called. But it's always nice to have that 10% equity. And he just folded, so he didn't have aces. So now we know for a fact that he is not waiting just for aces to 3-bet. He probably had pocket kings. Table 1 on a7-3 against this guy. I'm not even trying to be balanced versus this kind of way that I bet bigger when I want to value bet. And there with top pair I'm betting for value, so we can bet bigger versus this guy. We have double cut shot, half a pot, donk. Let's call once. Oh, the worst card probably in the deck. Mean donk. Let's see if it's finally for value. And he calls, so first time he actually calls. And we have middle pair and gut shot. Let's check. Let's make 2 pairs on the river. And let's check behind. And he has ace 9. So he calls the flop with just a weak ace and 2 flush draws. So well, before we lost the buy into him playing garbage and making a straight, we had 17 euros, so if we climb back to 17, then it's all good. And now we have a wrap. Now we have a wrap and not flush draw. And now we have the nut flush. And it's a backdoor flush, which is the great part. Because people don't believe in backdoor flushes. I'm just going to put it. And he folds. Oh, didn't see that we have this Strovich here on the table. Really aggressive guy. Top 2 pair. Let's see if we can make this 150 BBE flip. We don't, he folds. So we are almost back to 17 euros without going to showdown. Now we have the middle set and he folds. Oh, now we have the third player. Boo. Maybe he's watching the stream. Well, if he's watching the stream, then he is probably the worst abuser in the world. Why we are betting that much? When we bet for value, we want to bet much. Well, then if we bet too small, then his calling range goes wider. So I don't want to bet like 1/3 of the pot bets, or when there's draw board, I don't want to bet half a pots versus that guy. Oh, nice. 2 pairs, nuts, and 2 backdoor flush draws. Let's hope the money goes in. Second to 4, I have no idea how this pay for my auto works. Oh, they both call and we can get the turn. Now we have Jack 10 and Kings, and we actually make the nut flush, so we won a big pot. Woo! Nice ending. So we might not be losing that much on this session. If you guys think for a minute, he plays heads up PLO and folds 60 or 80% of the buttons. So, in other words, he has no idea how to play heads up PLO. And as far as I've seen him playing, he doesn't have a lot of idea how to play PLO. So you would think that he would watch the stream and abuse the stream. But that is so far away. If he's adjusting my comments, he would probably leave the table and be ashamed. I'm going to 3-bet. If he has some random aces, we are small favorite. So we are happy to get it in, and if they draw, we are going to hit the set 1 out of 4 times. And that is a nice flop. And they fold, which is actually a pretty decent outcome, because unless the board pairs, we don't have the nuts on the river. So 65% of the times we don't have nuts on the river with the top set, which makes it really hard to play out of position. And now there's so many players on table 1 that it's not the fun heads up anymore, but it was fun while it lasted. Wish we had more of heads up sessions like that. I think we're going to close the stream. We are already half an hour past the time I was supposed to stop. So let's close all the tables. Well, at 75% we have the top pair. So against that guy I'm betting top pair as value. And that's, I want, if I bet for value, I want to bet bigger. I don't want to put it, so it's 75%. So interesting to see where did our session end. Yeah, not so great, but could have been worse. Let's see what happens here on table 4. We're gonna probably 6-way flop, at least 5-way. Yeah, for weird bites, it's great if you try to challenge. That's what I always advise people to do, because that's when we learn stuff. So I don't mind at all. If Aphthenodite checks or bets that 1 BB bet here, 70 cents, so now it's probably for value. If he had bet 10 or 20 cents, I would have made a small raise. But now when he bets bigger, it's probably because he has the flush. He's running good because out of over 800 hands, he has won 8 buy-ins. And he's only not just winning, he's only 2 buy-ins, so he's running actually 6 buy-ins over EV. Always nice to see how people run. So let's see how much we made money and how much we paid rate. I'm going to show you here is the graph for today. We go down, we go up, we go down, we go up, we go down, we go up, and we end up minus 35 euros. Now we actually have a hand, we might win more or lose more. Let's see what happens here. Minus 2 buy-ins, equity adjusted, minus 35 euros. So running a bit under EV, but nothing too strange. We don't get any action. And we have paid around 8 euros. Not sure which one is the correct for current 24H, but is it attributed or contributed? But let's state that we pay 8 euros as rate in 593 hands. Let me open my calculator. So we had 800 BBs divided by 563 times 100 gives us, oh, now it went wrong, 80 BBs. We have paid 13 BBs per 100 hands as rate. Vilpa is asking that why not 70 or 68 if it's for value? Well, now, yes, you say that all those saved bitcoins add up, but when we are betting for value, we want to get as much value as we can. It doesn't make sense to bet smaller when we value bet to save money when opponent hits the hand, because when we bet for value, we estimate that we are ahead of his range. Oh, we didn't close. Why? So when we value, now the question is, instead of 75, should we bet 80? And this time I just ended up clicking 75 because it's in my fast buttons. When you bet for value, you want to bet as much as you think your opponent is going to call. When you bluff, you can bet smaller. But when I bet ace high board, I want to look strong. If I bet half a pot, then he might call with any bottom pair or something that has a ton of equity versus me. So we have paid 13 BBs per 100 as rate. I would say that before this, the rate was, it was hard to calculate because the latest sessions that I played here with the old rate system were kind of sessions where there was a lot of really aggressive maniacs on the tables, and we just played huge both back and forth, which means that I actually played, there was one session like 300 or 400 hands where I paid 54 BBs per 100 hands as rate, which is insane. It's like half a buy-in per 100 hands. So I would say that on PokerStars I paid like 20 BBs per 100 hand on average, and the rate is smaller. So at normal 6% 5% rate, it's probably around 25 BBs per 100 hand. So now it's almost half, which is quite nice. Pay for my automated bluff there on the turn. He showed his hand. It's just jack. Too bad we didn't play our garbage hand. Well, he seems to be aggressive. I'm going to give him a yellow mark, meaning that he can make big bluffs. He can barrel as a bluff, and so on. Let's see if they can do something funny here. I could easily see pay for my auto raise here as a semi-bluff. No, he doesn't. Come on. Let's steal the blinds. We don't steal the blinds, but I'm going to see bet here. 29-6 stylish player. We should have some folding equity. We do have the cut shot, but yeah, he folds. And now we can finally sit out. There's going to be home games. I'm going to bed. It's midnight here. But those of you who are not going to sleep, go and play some home games. There are some instructions on the forum. Our session ended up -35. Nothing happened in the last hands. Graph here is, this was nice moment, this was not so nice moment, and here we ran pretty bad, but could have been better. But as you can see, there's a lot of really good customers on 24HBet. So, as I said many times, how can you lose in this company? But when the cards doesn't come as your favor or for your favor, then this might happen. This is average on PLO, and EV adjusted win is just -2 buy-ins. That happens. Couple of setups and that's it. Now, have a good night, have a good weekend. Virpa is saying that against the player who folds too much, we can't really exploit him betting strong when we have a hand, and betting less we don't. Well, actually that is the way we exploit him. That is exactly the way how we exploit him, because when he folds it doesn't matter how much we bet. But when he calls, if he's calling with weak range or weaker range than ours, then it's good for us if we actually make the hand. So that is exactly how we exploit guys who fold too much, that we see bet a lot. And when we bluff, if we can get away with smaller bet sizing, that is the exploiting. And against loose passive fish, well, against loose passive fish, if they don't fold any flops, then we exploit them by betting mostly for value. Then we don't see bet every board. Like if someone folds 30% of the flops, then in PLO, depending on the board texture, there are some boards where I wouldn't see bet my air. So we change that, we value bet more with wider range, but we bet bigger when we want to value bet. And on some boards we see a bit smaller to create the same fold inequity. But yeah. Next Friday we didn't have the coaching, we have it on Saturday. It's going to be scary because it's Halloween. I might put on my scary game face on. Now let's watch the intro video once more. I hope my computer can run it, and then have a fun on tables. See you on next Saturday. Bye bye.